Welcome to the fastest daf in town. Today we're going to Bava daf Samach Daled. We are going to begin on Samach Daled and Aleph about 12 lines from the top. Omer Mar. So he said Yomer Shor Geneva. Let it say Shor and Geneva. But the problem is, based on what we said in yesterday's daf, Miksiv Shor Geneva doesn't say it in that order because a Shor would be more specific, it would be a prat. Then Geneva is a klal, so it would be prat or klal. But Geneva Shor Diksiv, it actually says it the other way around. First it says Geneva, then Shor. So where it says V'chi Tema Ilu Nemar Kaimar, if the word Shor was written first, so Ilu Nemar Shor Geneva, that's what it's referring to. Mi Matzas Amrit Ma Prat Meforish, then would you be able to learn out that it's a klal prat or klal, that this is how it's supposed to be written? Havi Shor Prat Ugeneva Klal. The Metzias is the way you want to tell me is that the word Shor, even though it's not written that way, but it could be written a prat and then Geneva is a klal. So prat u klal nasakal moisamal prat. It includes everything. Yisrael who kol mili. It's not a prat. Klal prat u klal is it's kana prat. Rather, that's not what it is. It's a prat u klal, which includes everything. So, what's exactly talking about? Ella k'deksiv ka'amri. Geneva v'shor. The way it's written is the whole point. That it starts off Geneva, which is a klal, and then a prat. So mi masas amrit hakol b'chlal, or ma ha'prat meforish, havli Geneva klal, v'shor prat. So now you have a klal prat, ein b'chlal el mashim prat, shor in midachrina lo. So if it's a prat u klal, so it includes everything. If it's a klal and then a prat, it's coming to exclude everything. So Omer Rava Tana Achayim Kasamachle. The reality is, the word Chayim is next to it. Uklal Pratu Klal Ka'omerle. The word Geneva is a klal. Prat is the shore, and then Chayim is a klal. So it's klal prat a klal. Then it's Kana prat. That's how you understand it, the way it's written. Okay. So V'holu Dami Klal Basrol Klal Kama. When it comes to klal prat a klal, you have to look at one klal and the other klal. But if they are not the same klal, the first one, the last one, then you can't really learn out a klal prat of klal. Chatanim Rabbi Shmuel, who dechiyagam the darsh kolei pratis. No, according to him, it's not true. Even if the first and the second are not the same, because Rashi says, "Delo kayil ela balichayim a klal kama demashma kol davar." Geneva is anything you steal. Chayim means something which is alive, bal chayim. So one klal is not like the other klal. So he says that's okay. You can still learn out a klal prat a klal, even though the first and the last klal are not identical in its openness. V'hachi kakashali. This is a question. Im himatze timatze lamuli. The pasuk of himatze timatze, which we saw in yesterday's daf, which is possibly referring to Geneva or Tanis Ganav. So why need that pasuk? Yomer Shor Geneva v'Chayim v'Chol b'Chlal. All you need are those words, and you have a klal prat a klal. Since it mentions in the prat, it says a shor, maybe that's only something that's brought in mizbech, has the din Geneva. I've called kavigam mizbech. So ma yeshlach lahevi set, that it comes to include a sheep. So kishu omer seh or seh omor. It already says the word seh. So seh is also gam mizbech. So you don't even need that word because you can figure that out from the word shor. So amna mekayim geneva. So therefore, the fact that it says seh, it's a rabos kol davar. It's coming to include even things which are not on the mizbech. Yarma geneva v'shor v'seh v'chayim v'kol b'chlal. So then just say that. Now, only something which is kaddish b'b'chayra. Av kol davar hakadosh b'b'chayra. Ma yishlach lahevi chamor. That would come to include a donkey, because sho'aymer chamor hari chamor amor. It already says the word chamor. So based on shor and seh, so you would already also infer chamor anyway. So you shouldn't need the word chamor. So it must be the word chamor is coming to tell you something else. Includes everything. So Yomer Geneva v'Sher v'Sev v'Chamor v'Chayim v'Chol v'Chlal. No. Ilukin ha'yisam, you would think ma pram before Shmali Chayim have Kol Bali Chayim. Maybe it's only something which is alive. Ma yesh lachal sharbal chaim. It's coming to include things that are alive. It says the word chaim already. So includes things that are even not chaim. So in himatzi tamatzi lamli. So then the question is, why do you need himatzi tamatzi to include anything? You already have this klal prat and all these different pratim which include all these other things. So you shouldn't even need himatzi tamatzi at all. As we continue to samach daled amid beis. So the Gemara answers, Ihalki shaber kashile. It's actually a good question, says Rashi. Umay tshuva yesh b'davar. So what's the answer? So mishum de'isle pircha. You can ask the kasha. What's that? Well, rabbis called davar to include everything. Mehechim kamaisi le. How did you understand that? Only meklal basra, from the latter klal of chaim. Klal gufe chaim ksibe. It says chaim, things that are alive. So klal pradu klal makam hanile. So what is this klal pradu klal coming to add? Yilesui kol davar, and it's coming to include everything. Hachaim ksiv bal chaim in minachmin lo. Why does it say as part of the klal something which is alive? It must be something which is davka alive, and therefore it can't be rabbis kol davar. Mishum hacha israch im himatze. That's the reason why we need im himatze to matze. Tell you even things that are not alive. Because it's true, even though we have a klal product klal, but the klal basra talks about chayim, something which is alive, and therefore you would think that comes to exclude things that are not alive. That's the reason why I need im matze tamatze to tell you even rabbis kol davar. Amri v'hashnei klolos the smichi hadadininhu. These two klolos are actually written next to each other. Says Rashi, himatzi tamatze vehechi matzi l'medrash minayu klal pra'u klal. How can you learn out klal pra'u klal when the two klals are written next to each other? It's not klal pra'u klal. The two klals are next to each other. Ravina k'di amri b'merava, like they say in Israel. Even if you have two klolos which are next to each other, hatul prabinehem uveduinem b'klal prat. So what you can do, even though it's true, it's a klal, you can take the prat and put it in between. So shadei shor ben himatze l'timatze. So himatze is a klal, timatze is a klal. So you can put the prat of shor in between. It's coming to include living animals. The pasuk already says chaim. It comes to include things are not alive. Still, there's a din geneva. This is how you read it. Ma pram aforish davar matat v'guva mamoin. Now called davar matat v'guva mamoin. Wasu shadi chamor bein himatze l'timatze. You can put another prat in between one himatze and the other timatze, one klal and the other klal. Wasu mai ilu asui davar shein bali chayim. Things which are not alive. So mishor nafka. We're going to learn that from an ox. Asui davar masuyim. It's coming to include a davar masuyim, which we saw before. That it's coming to, says Rashi, in avol davar she'en masuyim lo, only something which actually has a siman. Im kain selamali el riba miat v'riva. Who? It's actually not a klal product klal, but we're learning instead a riba miat uriva. Kedetanid Rabbi Shmuel. The Tanid Rabbi Shmuel, b'mayim beis pa'amim. It says b'mayim twice. Ein ze klal prat el riba umiat. This is a riba and a miat. Riba hakoil includes everything. Umay Rabbi kol mili includes everything. Ihachi kol hani prati lamli. If it includes everything, then why do you need this pratim? So chalamuti karka, v'chalamuti avada, v'chalamuti shtaros. Okay, let's stop for a second. What is this mayim? So Rashi reminds us of the sugya. It says, b'mayim toichu, koil asher b'mayim. Anything which is in the water you can eat. Kol asher bo senaper v'kaskesas b'mayim. Anything which has fins and scales are considered to be animals or fish that are allowed to be consumed. Hoyu klom smuchim heim. These clothes are actually next to each other. V'pra enu b'neihem. The prat of kol asher samar kaskesas, specifically fins and scales, is in between. Ksiv bayomim v'nachalim. It talks about the prat in the seas. Tamashma diyomim nachalim hu debeina and snapper kaskesas. Maybe only in those locations are fins and scales necessary. However, maybe not other bodies of water. For example, if it's in a cistern, a cave, Rabbi el Kanaprat. El Bariba Miyad Variva Visrabi Kol Mili. It comes to include everything, so even that. Okay. So that's what we're learning from that. Now Geneva V'Chaim, what do we know from Geneva V'Chaim? Look at Rav, Diarmer Achaya L'Karen Kain Shagan Av. So what is that? It says Rashi, we're going to see this later on. The Im Gana Behema. Let's say you stole an animal, V'Hochasha, and it got weakened, or Huzla, or it lost value, B'Sham Kishas HaGeneva. You pay at the time that you stole it. T'chsev Chaim, HaChayehu L'Karen Shal Geneva Shiu Shalim. So you have to pay it Shas HaGeneva, at the time that you stole it. So even though, let's say, it went down in value, it doesn't matter that it went down in value, you still have to pay Shas HaGeneva. So that's what we learn out from Geneva V'Chaim. Fine. So he said, Im Hamatzeh. Im Hamatzeh, and one is Im Lo Tamatzeh. So one is talking about Ganav, which is Im Hamatzeh. Im Lo Tamatzeh is Tain Tanas Ganav. Everyone holds Im Lo Tamatzeh, as we said in yesterday's daf, is Tain Tanas Ganav, because it wasn't actually stolen, it was beheter, it was in your hands as a bikadon, and then you lied and you said it was sheker, etc. So according to the Mandiyarmer, that there are two different, each pasuk is talking about a different type of stealing. The Ganav Atzma Nafkule Me'im Himatzeh Haganav, and we learn out Geneva from the pasuk of Im Himatzeh. So Hi Im Himatzeh Timatzeh My Darish Be. So Im Himatzeh Timatzeh, what is he darshan with us? So Meboy look at Rabba Bar Eloi, the Rabba Bar Eloi. My time of the Rav, what's the reason Rav the Amr Moed B'Kanas Rakach Boed and Potter the Chsiv Im Himatzeh Timatzeh. So we know that just Moed B'Kanas your Potter. So if you admit to a kanas, you don't pay. What happens if you're Moed B'Kanas and then 10 minutes later a bunch of witnesses come? So maybe the only reason why you're Moed B'Kanas is because you knew witnesses were going to come anyway. So there's a machlokis if Moed B'Kanas or Achal Po'edim whether you're Potter Chayev. But according to this shita of Rabbi Bar Eloi, he holds taka that you would be Potter because it says Im Himatzeh Timatzeh. Okay, that's what it's coming to tell you. So Im Himatzeh Be'edim Timatzeh B'Dayanim Prat L'Marshias Atzmoi. It's coming to exclude someone who's Marshias Atzmo if you yourself are Moed B'Kanas. L'mad Yomer Tevaya B'Tarn Tanas Ganav. The high Im Himatzeh Timatzeh Mapigli L'Ganav Atzmo. He went to Im Haganav Im Himatzeh Timatzeh. It comes to tell you Geneva itself. So Marshia Atzmo Minolan. How do we know this din of being Marshia Atzmo, that you're not allowed to basically self-incriminate? So Asher Yarshin Elokim. It says that the Beis Din punishes you, makes you into a rasha. V'lo Harshia Es Atzmo. Not that you do it. The Isila. So hi Asher Yashin my Darshbe. They have this extra pasuk. What do they do with this pasuk? Asher Yashin Elokim. So the Potter. It's coming to tell you have one pasuk that's Moed B'Kanas Potter, and you have another pasuk Moed B'Kanas V'Achach Boedim is Potter. So according to this other Mandiyarmer, there is no extra pasuk. So it must be one pasuk is telling you Moed B'Kanas is Potter, but the other pasuk no, because I don't have that pasuk extra, and therefore Moed B'Kanas V'Achach Boedim is Taka Chayev. Okay. Then nafkile God and mahasam, that you were not getting it from there. So bishlam mimatzeh tamasa could have Rabbi Bar Eloi. I understand mimatzeh tamate is coming to tell you this din that if you're Moed B'Kanas V'Achach Boedim you're Potter. El kol hani pratim lamli, when they have all these pratim. So kedatan and Rabbi Shmuel, the Tan Rabbi Shmuel kol parsha shenemra. Anytime you have a parsha that's said once, then nishnis and it's repeated, nishnis el davar shnis chadash ba. It's coming to tell you a chiddush. Says Rashi, im himatzi be'edim timatzi b'dayanim prat l'moed b'kanas. The only chiddush, but the rest of the pasuk is actually superfluous. They beganav atzmo b'shua. Maybe a ganav only is going to be chayiv to pay back kefil if he makes a shvua, which you know that's not true. That applies only by Torah Tanaskana. Also that the sign of Rabbi Yankav Oimer Shnai Mishalim Shlo b'shvua, you don't pay. You pay double. You pay kefil even if you didn't make a shvua. So Atar b'shlo b'shvua and a well b'shvua. Maybe you have to make a shvua to be chayav by geneva. So Marta lo kachaya. No, that can't be. Can't be. What? My lo kachaya. What do you mean? What does that mean? It can't be. Why? So my lo lechtav rachmana shnai mishalim beganev. Don't mention the obligation by ganav to have to pay kefil. Place of a chavachaymer. Return tanas ganav. Ma turn tanas ganav. It came into your hand beheter, then you lied, but at least at the time you were holding on to someone's pikadon willingly, and it was beheter. Amr Kroli Sham Trey, you have to pay double. So kind of somebody with surasli yadol koshikain. So it's obvious. You can always learn on a kavachimer straight. If you only have a pasuk as a pasuk from Torah's Ganav, you can learn Ganav directly from Torah's Ganav. In the event that you would actually still have to make a shvua. So we said we can't do that because dayoi, that by turning to ganav you make a shvua, but by ganav, how do we know that you don't need to make a shvua and you still be chayav? But if you hold the itaka archa, only chayav begeneva if you make a shvua, so then you're right, you can just learn on the kavachaymer. So el shnai misham the kasra achmana beganav atzmo. So why does it mention it? The feel shul b'shvua. The fact that it says shnai mishalim. Why do you need this extra pasuk by Ganav? You can learn on a kavachaymer. It must be to tell you that you're still going to be chayiv by Geneva, even without a shvua. Is that what we learn out? I thought we learned out from the following din. Yadoi, it says that it was found in your hands. As we continue to Samachayim and Alf. Ainli el yado, that it's in your hands. And how do we know that even if you're not holding on to it? But instead it was in your rishus. Now wherever it's found, you're still going to be chayiv. So anyway, we see imatzi tamatzeh is coming to tell us the din that you're going to be chayiv, not only if it's not in your hands, but even if it's in your rishus, in your chatzar. So how can you tell me that we're going to learn out from imatzi tamatzeh, according to this Mandi Aimer, the din of genevo even without a shvua? So imkain le'emekra o himatzeh o timatzeh. Medishani kra, the fact that it changes the language, shemamina tarti. So we can see two things from here, which is question 8, which is the only question we have over here for at least the regular questions. Umandi armor the nafgle ganav atzmo, that we're now kaneva me'im himatze haganav my darish me'im himatze timatze biyadai. So when we went out from im himatze timatze, either it's coming to tell you that it's even if it's in your gag, your roof, your courtyard, etc., you'll still be chayiv. Or if it's found with witnesses, timatzi b'dayanim, or it's found that you stole it with judges. If you're moida, even if let's say witnesses come anyway, you're going to be potter. TA 22. Madula tane Rabbi Shmuel darshim himatzi timatzi beriboy miyat v'lo b'klal prat. So what was the reason why they switched from a klal pradu klal to a riboy miyat uriboy? Well, why did they do that? So TA 22 mishum dehavi shnei klolos asmuchin zelazeh, because you have two of the klolos which are somuch to one another, and therefore, again, just like when it came to the case of the snapper v'kaskasas, where it says b'mayim 2 times, what we do is we learn out a miyat riboy miyat, and therefore it's the same thing over here, that when you have 2 klolos written next to each other, we say it's a riboy miyat riboy. Okay. TB 23 Adkan.